one shocks the world as it actually manages to take down a first place at a YCS. Amazing. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Carlancho's store has graphics up here for us, and we will have links down below for the deck list when we cover them so you guys can go check out some of the original stuff as well. We'll do the mini versions on here. Top 32 for Rio here was 11 Tier Elements decks, 7 Danger, 3 Punk variants. I can't say that I'm shocked to see that, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Tier has just been turning over. Like, results and things like that with Tier Elements right now has been absolutely amazing in terms of, like, deck building and so forth. We also had 8 Sprite variants here, it seems, of which were 6 Frog, 1 Twin, and then we had a Tier Element version as well. We've seen the hybrid version kind of come up every blue moon, but it's interesting. Now, the thing that kind of took me back here was we had 5 math mechs in top 32. Now, I don't know if you guys really have paid attention to like math mech innovations, but the fact that we had 2 Ignister builds within that top cut is actually very, very interesting to me. We also had 2 branded variants as well, 1 Eldritch, 1 Invoke. So Eldritch did seep its way on into top cut here, which I think is fine. Continuing to see Eldritch, you know, kind of creep into the format ever so slowly, inching itself along, is good. But Invoked, also seeing some sort of placement here, is amazing. We also had 1 Sun Avalon Rika deck in top cut. Those numbers are a lot lower than what we saw at Euros. We also had 1 Flounder player. That's rough. We also had 1 Marincess. We had Dino Morphia, and then just a quick note to the burn deck here. And we had Tri-Brigade Lyrilisk also making its way into top cut as well. I mean, the fact that you're seeing Tri-Lyrilisk performing out here as well, considering like the differences in format and change like that, is nothing short of amazing. Now, the grind here from top 32 to top 16 tells a much interesting story here. We had 6 Tier Element decks on the shift here, which means you're down to 3 of the Danger and 2 of the Punk variants. So a lot of Tier got shaved off there. Then we're down to just 4 Sprite. Half the Sprite field got eliminated as well. Okay. Now, the thing that definitely is interesting here was Math Mech held on to a large percentage of that shift within top cut here, because 4 of them held on, which means that they overcame a majority of the obstacles that were placed there. Now, once you get down here into, you know, what happened to our rogue? Only Despia branded Invoked survived, and then 1 burn deck also got the chance to advance as well. Now, your top 8 here, you're going to see that Jesse versus Triff. Jesse ended up winning, and then on the right here you had Mathmech versus Victor, which Mathmech ended up advancing. Bottom bracket, Tier versus Mathmech, Mathmech advances, and then you see you had good old Burn versus Mathmech. Burn advances, or semifinals or what? Jesse Cotton versus Mathmech, Mathmech advances, and then on the opposite side, Mathmech versus good old Mystic Mine. And then the finals ended up being Mystic Mine versus Mathmech, in which, well, you know the story for this format, ladies and gentlemen. Mathmech claws its way up to a 2nd place. Not quite a grand finish here, but, you know, the fact that Burn had 1 single placement here and then somehow crawled its way out of, you know, the reaches of this tournament to sit at the top table here, I think is nothing short of amazing. We're going to pass on over for some deck list here. All right, the first deck we're going to be looking at here should be basically top 4. This should be your Mathmech list for this event, which you get the chance to see Small World here doing what it does best. Honestly, Small World being one of the better cards for this deck is amazing. See only 1 Super Factorial, which I think is fine for a build like this. Considering that, yeah, Super Factorial is an amazing card for a deck like this, but shaving it down is fine. I mean, that and the 1-1 split here. Obviously, Circular is the thing that ends up doing the job for you here. Also on Double Edition, Double Sigma, with the double subtraction, or yeah, subtraction. I think those are kind of becoming like your more standardized norms here for ratios. Do keep in mind you have exceedingly larger amounts of hand traps in a deck like this to kind of counteract the format as you go forward here. I also like the double copies of Splash Mage down here. You're also getting the chance to take advantage of Pit Knight down here as well, considering the fact this card just came to the TCG, actually making a splash in something that's not, you know, Sprite. Next up here is our Sprite list. Now, I've been hearing rumors about people kind of starting to take advantage of Light Stage here as something to, I guess, set the stage for other potential things. I mean, hey, this card removes a back row effectively and gets you access to Lilybell. Lilybell is also a body that gets to extend itself onto the field. So basically, all of this little package here kind of fits into what you're planning to do with the deck, which is level 2 spam, laugh at the opponent. No adventure package, none of the other like extender trash that you kind of see within the rest of the format. I also like the fact we're on one smasher in the main, one in the side deck, so you do get to see the duality shift there between, you know, just the differences within the format, ladies and gentlemen. So is this like a better version of what already exists? I don't know, but I will tell you that this is definitely interesting to see the dynamic of what you can do within this format. Next up here, another Sprite list, but you're going to see here that you get to see Econ showing up here. We've seen Econ rolling around in the format, but a lot of players have kind of, I guess, not really like the application of this card, but to be honest with you, Econ gives a lot to, you know, what you want to do with this deck. All right, also, you know, shout out to Dark Ruler No More here, effectively being one of the best cards within the current format. I mean, to be honest with you, these two cards fulfill way better purposes than any real Forbidden Droplet Ultimate Slayer that you could really do, because you pretty much need all of your extra deck spots here in order to do your thing. I also see that, you know, of course, Sprite Elf here being a 3 of in this deck. I have seen the debate on if you want to dedicate larger amounts of slots to Sprite Elf. I suppose it really comes down to, once again, your player preference. Also, summon limit in a deck like this. Haven't seen a lot of that, but I do like the idea behind that. Next up here is our, I believe this was Gabriel Nitz's top 16 list here. I believe there was no side deck that was posted for this either. Yeah. So, one Mystic Mine in the main deck. You do see that this kind of feels like a reduced version from the Euros list because, you know, you saw multiple Gizmecs in that version. You saw that former build had kind of shaved up a larger amount of numbers here. Also, we're playing a Dynamiscus in here. That's interesting. All right. I like the idea of having access to one of these so that you could do some interesting plays here. Dugaris and Curious. I mean, Dugaris is something I haven't really seen yet, but I like how powerful Curious is in a deck like this. Additional mill power. You have no problem meeting the requirements to establish what you need to for the requirements to summon this. Like, this is so easy. Like, if I've learned anything, Zeroboros is just a mad powerful card for a deck like this. So, innovation at its finest. Next up here, another Sprite list. Oh my gosh. Somebody was actually playing Gamma Burst. So this is the card that gives all of your rank 2, level 2, and link 2s 1400 attack till the end of the turn. So all of those little monsters get really huge. Alright. Then you can also, has the sub effect. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target a level 2, link 2, or rank 2, and it gains 1400 attack till the end of your opponent's next turn. So you get to make something even bigger, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I don't think people really, I think a lot of people look at Gamma Burst and like there's no way to, or no like rhyme or reason to play this card. I think this card's very good. We also had 2 Smashers in the side deck because we're maining the Gamma Burst, like we don't have to have access to this. We also are siding our Carrot so that we can access it, you know, post side decking as well. So you have a lot of different option trees and things that you can have access to with this. So once again, also double Sprite Elf for this list. Once again, you kind of pick your poison with your skill trees here, but I like this build quite a lot. And the last one we have for you guys here is we're actually detach any number of materials from your B6E monsters you control, target that many face cards your opponent controls, and also return them to the hand. Okay, we're actually playing Melfi's of the Forest because it's just 2 level 2s to make it. Detach 1, add a Melfi card from your deck to your hand. So this actually works with Playhouse here. What in the world? This has by far probably been one of the most hilarious lists that I have seen to date so far. You want to just talk about little cute innovations. Like, Sprite is such a powerful deck that you can get away with doing little things like this and get rewarded for it, ladies and gentlemen. Edit Robbie here. So the top, our winning deck list here, finally made its way out into the open from How to Brick. So I figured we'd go ahead and just showcase this because this is so interesting. Like, Ojama Trio's out here actually getting value. We've really gone away from the era of, you know, seeing generic links actually that would be able to capitalize on these little Ojama tokens, and I'm honestly very impressed to see that no monsters in the main deck. 3 monsters period here. The entire extra deck is just Memeville, all right? And then of course I guarantee you part of the reason why this deck was so successful was not only because of Mystic Mine, but like the sub floodgates here as well. And then of course the 6 protection cards for it. I mean, it's not like you can't just beam out a Mystic Mine at every turn here through like Demise of the Lands and Metaverse. This is pretty much just the incarnation of, haha, I got to my field spell. There's nothing you can do. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see that literal Mystic Mind Burn was able to pull this off. All right, Edit Robbie out. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.